Most of our time today is going to be spent talking about compound meter and how the groups work within those meters. Now in level 5, we learn the difference between simple meter and compound meter. Let's review that. In simple meter, the main beats of the time signature are subdivided into even numbers like 2s and 4s. But in compound time, the main groups of each time signature are subdivided into groups of 3s. Now, in level 5, when we were primarily working with simple meter, it was very easy to figure out how many beats were in each bar and what the groupings look like. If you recall from level 5, remember how the time signatures work. The top number of a time signature in simple meter always refers to the amount of beats in each bar, whereas the bottom number refers to what note value gets that beat. For example, if you look at the simple meter of 4/4, which is one we all like, the top number 4 means that there are 4 beats in each bar, and the bottom number means that the quarter note gets the beat. So there are 4 beats in that bar, and the quarter note gets the beat. You didn't have to take a music theory course to know that. You could probably have guessed that. It's very easy. Likewise, the other simple meter, let's take 2/2. The top number is 2, the bottom number is 2. The top number, there are 2 beats in each bar. And the bottom number, which is 2, represents a half note. So there are the half note gets the beat. So for 2/2, there are 2 beats in each bar, and the half note gets the beat. So life in level 5, when we were working with time signatures, was pretty straightforward. In level 6, we're going to get a little bit more complicated because we're going to be looking closer at compound meter. And it's not immediately apparent how many beats are in each bar. For example, let's take the time signature of 9/16. Now, if we use our old way of thinking and say that the top number represents the amount of beats and the bottom number is the note value that gets the beat, we are going to get an answer that is really, really wrong. 9/16. Someone might tell you that 9/16, there are 9 beats in each bar, and that the 16th note gets the beat. No, it's not right at all. Likewise, what about 6/8? 6/8, someone might tell you that there are 6 beats in every bar, and that the 8th note gets the beat. Unfortunately, it's also wrong. There are not 6 beats in every bar of 6/8. So in 6/8 time, there are actually 2 beats in every bar, and in 9/16, there are actually 3 beats in every bar. Now, if you're really fast and good at math, you can deduce what pattern I just used. If you're not good at math like me, let's together break down and figure out what just happened. So let's start with 6/8. The time signature of 6/8, and this applies to 6/8, 6/16, or 6/4, doesn't matter. Anything where the top number is 6, the compound meter of 6 something. There are indeed 6/8 notes in every bar in a 6/8 time signature, but there are only 2 beats. So what has happened is there's 2 beats, 1, 2, 1, 2. But what's happened is those 2 beats are subdivided into groups of 3s like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? It could also be considered something like this. Strong, weak, weak, medium, weak, weak. Strong, weak, weak, medium, weak, weak. So I'm clapping my hand 6 times, but I'm grouping those claps, as you can see literally I'm grouping those claps into 2 compartments of 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. So when you're writing music in 6/8 time, or you're writing your rests on your exam, you have to show visually, using the beams that connect those 8th notes, that there are 2 groups operating within that time signature. So when you're working with a time signature and the top number is 6, there are two groups or two beats in that time signature always, and each group is subdivided into groups of threes. It doesn't matter whether it's 6, 6, 6, 16, 6, 8, all time signatures with 6. Now let's look at the compound meter where the top number is 9, 9, 16, or 9, 8, or 9, 4, or 9, 2. How many beats are in a measure of 9, 16? There are 3. 1, 2, 3. Strong, weak, weak. The key is that each one of those beats is subdivided into a smaller group of 3 impulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Strong, weak, weak, medium, weak, weak, medium, weak, weak. Strong, weak, weak, medium, weak, weak, medium, weak, weak. So there's 3 main pulses. I hit my hand hard 3 times, and in between those 3 hard hits, I added 2 weaker claps to show you the subdivision. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So any time signature where the top number is 9, there are 3 groups operating within each bar. And again, when you're writing music in that time signature, or you're writing rests, you have to show that those groups exist by connecting the beams in such a way that you can, the person reading your music can visually see that there are 3 separate groups. And the last thing we'll talk about is a time signature where the top number is 12. Okay? Have you figured out the math pattern yet? 12 can be divided into 4 groups of 3. So there are 4 beats in a measure of 12-16 or 12-4 or 12-8. There are 4 beats in 12. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to break those 4 beats into subdivisions of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4. Strong, weak, medium, weak. So those are that's compound meter, right? So we did 6, 8, where there are 2 main beats. We did 9, 16, where there are 3 main beats. And we did 12, 16, or 12, 8, where there are 4 main beats. And each one of those main beats is subdivided into groups of 3s. And you have to attach the beams as such. And it will be a lot easier to show you how the beams are attached when we're over at the whiteboard practicing. So that's compound meter. That's all the new stuff for today. That's all the new stuff for today. That's a lot shorter than level 5 actually is. There happens to be a leak in the church roof, but fortunately I'm almost done this video. The last thing I have to tell you is that the addition of 30-second notes have been added to the level 6 curriculum. So some of you are instrumentalists and you've seen this in your pieces already. So you don't need to know this. But for those of you who have never seen a 30-second note before, a 30-second note is half of a 16th note, okay? So the same way that a 16th note is half of an 8th note, 30 seconds are half of a 16th note. So 2 30 seconds are played in the time of 1 16th. So you can add that to your diagram of notes being broken in half, right? You break a whole note in half, we get 2 half notes. You break a half note in half, you get a quarter note. You break a quarter note in half, you get 1/8 notes. You break 1/8 notes in half, you get 16th notes. And finally, when we break 16th notes in half now, we get 30-second notes. Now, 30-second notes look very similar to 16th notes, except they have 3 beams or 3 flags coming out of them. And the rest, a 30-second rest also looks very similar to a 16th rest, except there are 3 flags coming off of the line instead of 2. So you will have to now work with 30-second rests and dotted sixteenths. So if you have a dotted sixteenth and you are asked to fill in rests beside it, you are most likely going to have to use a 30-second rest to complete the groupings in these compound meters that we've discussed today. Okay, so that was a lot of information, but we're about to go over to the whiteboard and I will visually show you what the groupings look like on the page, and it will be a lot easier to understand what's going on because there are multiple layers in these compound meters. That's what the word compound means. There are two things going on at the same time. So let's go over to the whiteboard now and look at those layers, and it will be much clearer.